In 1607, the Indians' worst nightmare was just coming to the US. It was like Ebola meeting Africa. You just know this won't go well. The 13 slaves we call America got sick of this tea-sipping country we call Britain. And so they launched a ragtag revolutionary team to fight the British, and they won. It was like that dopey kid you see who's constantly bullied every day beat up the one bully finally, and I mean like Sharkeisha No style. So the beacon of democracy, that is the United States of America, finally wins the Revolutionary War, and then so they continue on this path until basically they get to the next argument within themselves and over the gem of democracy, that is slavery. Okay, so we have for you actually an account from the 1800s of a slave and his life working in the plantation. And so it reads as, "It was hard working in them fields. When the slave owner came out, it was scary. It was like that famous Antoine Dodson video where it was like, and I quote, 'He's climbing in your windows, snatching your people up, so you need to hide your kids, hide your wife.'" Okay, so approximately 750,000 plus people died in the Civil War. Disease was due to disease, and dysentery was probably the #1 killer in the Civil War, and because of it, people suffered symptoms of mucus, blood, and diarrhea. And I mean, like, I haven't seen this on this scale of a magnitude since the last fight at a Trump rally.
You know, Lincoln died in a theater, but you can't really say that his influence ended there, right? New law during the Reconstruction, such as the 15th Amendment, was being implemented that put American minorities just that much closer to absolute freedom. But being so painstakingly close to freedom isn't exactly the same thing as being free, you know? Nowadays, or back then, neighborhood community protection organizations such as the Ku Klux Klan came into being. The South was stuck in an economic quagmire because of their agricultural economy. And the slow road to Reconstruction was being implemented in a way that wasn't exactly true to what Lincoln thought was real. So, you could say that things were looking up in the South compared to the years prior. After the Spanish-American War, we became more dominant democratic force in the world that people should recognize. We became a liberator of the free people of the world and a bringer of freedom. We weren't being imperialistic, you know. We were just stopping Europe from doing the same. As it turns out, we have video testimonial of a World War I soldier for this, so I'm going to leave you guys with that. How's that, yeah?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I got some questions for you.
All right, shoot 'em.
How was the Great War for you?
The Great War. You know, I had a great time. World War I was a really fun time. You know, you're all about that like conventional garbage, like trenches and lines not advancing. But you know what really made World War I the Great War? The people, right? You know, I've never met cooler people. You know, one time this guy gave me a mask, like a gas mask, and I was like, wow, what a kind guy. That's really cool, you know? Have you ever been to one of those like color ones where they throw chalk and stuff up into the air? Like, you know, like the blues and the reds and the yellows, right? Well, you know, World War I was kind of like that, except like instead of like the blue chalk and the yellow chalk, you get like mustard gas and phosphine. It was still colorful, don't get me wrong, but it was really yellow and green and all that, right? You know, for instance, another guy also let me, started shooting at me, right? And I was like, whoa, buddy. Cool it, yeah? We're in a war, but I'm not trying to kill you, yeah? And he just stopped, and he kind of just, like, apologized. And, you know, he admitted it was kind of rude to do that. And when I pointed it out to him, he felt really bad about it at the time, you know? So we ended up making up about it. And, you know what? Matter of fact, Matter of fact, I went to his wedding, actually. You know, he was, it was crazy. You know, I had a great time.
Okay, so today we're going to have a completely different soldier telling us about the how World War II compares to World War One. Do you have anything to say about that?
You know, World War II was more of a world war than World War I ever was. They call it the Great War in World War I, but you want to know what I call World War II? The Greater War. You think World War I was hard? Well, then knock. You're about to get shell-shocked. World War I only had tiny little paper flames flying over your head, dropping the equivalent of a water balloon in your general area. No biggie. Now imagine an entire Air Force. No, the German Luftwaffe, coming right over you, dropping explosives you thought you'd only see in a Michael Bay movie. You just about fainted, huh? Well, it doesn't stop there. You remember those pathetic excuses of tanks being on land shifts back in World War I? Well, yeah. Now you've got reasons to run for the hills. These babies could clean sweep an entire regiment of men primed for war, like a pack of bounty paper towels. The front lines were always changing because of these bastards. It was a war fast-moving as lightning. Lightning. Blitzkrieg. They really put that name to the test.
So basically, the U.S. and the USSR were in a race to see who could get to beat up Japan first. The U.S. won the race with the whole atomic bomb dealio. Russia was pretty pissed off about this because they wanted a piece of Japan, but they're also pretty scared of the U.S., so they decided to build their own atomic bomb dealios too. The U.S. was like, no, that's our thing. You can't just copy it. But the USSR was like, no, screw you, man. I do what I want. And then they almost got into a fight over Germany or something like that. They didn't want to get into a fight that was too serious because they wanted to blow up the whole world. So they didn't really talk to each other. Can't make faces, man. They didn't really talk to each other for about 50 years, but they got other people to fight for them, I guess, to like claim territory and stuff. It was the Vietnamese and the Koreans. But then this dude, Gorbachev, got into power, like, became the leader of the USSR, and he kind of realized that stuff was gonna basically break down in his country if he didn't do something, because people were spending too much money on making sure the USSR was seen as awesome by everybody else. So he kind of sat down with Reagan, who was the president of the US at the time, and was like, hey, bro, if you be cool, we'll be cool. And Reagan was like, right. So now we're cool. And Putin's doing